Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Minnesotan Pod. A segment we do here on the Minnesotan Pod at this time of year is a little bit of draft coverage, and our first interview for the 2024 NHL Draft, a player who could be selected from the state of Minnesota, Cretin-Derham Hall defender Jimmy Dodig. We will cover a wide range of topics today, going from the Raiders' season, culminating in a third-place finish at the Class 2A state tournament, to the fact that Jimmy is in the top 100 North American skaters prior to the draft. We'll cover everything in between. I hope you enjoy.
You need to stay up out the streets if you can't take the heat. You need to stay up out the streets if you can't take the heat. Cause it get cold like Minnesota. Cold like Minnesota. Cold like Minnesota. Cold like Minnesota. Need to stay up out the streets if you can't.
Jimmy, how are you?
Great. How are you? Thanks.
I've never been better in my entire life.
Thanks for having me.
Of course. I'm going to have you take your hat off for me for a second.
Okay.
Because I want to start with a question that's been burning my brain up for the last 10 minutes. This hair. Now, you go to Cretin-Derham Hall.
Yep.
And correct me if I'm wrong, Cretin-Derham Hall is a parochial school.
It is.
Catholic school.
It is. Yep.
What is the hair code at Cretin-Derham Hall?
No, the hair code is it's not supposed to go past the ears or to the collar of the shirt.
Is it supposed to be blonde?
Hopefully. Usually.
So how'd you get away with the long hair at CDH?
You know, they kind of, when you go to the state tournament, they kind of forget about it for a couple months. So.
Oh, he throws the state tournament in there right away.
Yeah.
That's a good jumping off point, though, because I don't really want to go back to like when you were 4 years old in your entire hockey journey. But I would like to start with this year's state tournament. As I said in the intro, you are a defenseman for the Cretin-Derham Hall Raiders, and your team finished third at the state tournament. But not everything was so rosy. A little earlier in the season, by my count, 9 of your team's 11 losses were by 2 goals or less. So let's go back to that regular season where there were some hiccups along the way. Take me through what it was like losing games. Number one, losing games, and number two, losing games by such tight margins.
Yeah, I mean, in the year past, we didn't lose too many games, so a lot of us weren't really used to like going down like three games in a row losing. But you know, our coaches like always told us to just trust the process. You know, we're not getting the bounces. We're losing by 1 goal like 7 times. And eventually, you know, we just trusted the process and it worked out in the end.
All right. Was there a specific turning point that you felt during the season? Was there a loss or a win or a team meeting or a team paintball outing where you thought, okay, maybe we can turn this around?
I would say when we lost 2-1 in overtime to Edina, because like Edina was top-ranked team in the state. But I mean, even if it was a loss, we played well and felt that we like did enough to win the game, but didn't. But I feel like that was our turning point where we could hang with the best teams in the state.
All right. You mentioned that your team had faced a little bit of turnover your sophomore year to your junior year. And junior year, you've got a letter on your sweater. Okay, you're in a leadership role as an alternate or an assistant captain. I don't know what your guys' philosophy on the A versus the C is. What kind of leadership did you have to take on during the season?
Yeah, I just felt like I tried to be a leader of the D-Corps right away when the season started. Me and Aiden Siegfried, our senior captain of the D-Corps, and he's actually an assistant captain.
He's an assistant captain. Okay, yeah. Aiden's an assistant captain.
Yeah.
Okay, it doesn't take anything away from him.
No. Yeah, we both of us just tried to take ownership because, I mean, 4 of our defensemen, it was their first time playing varsity or even high school hockey. So we just tried to be the leader of those guys. And then, you know, we also had a great senior captain, Chuck Owens, and he was just a great leader of the team, a good voice for all the younger guys. And I feel like we did a good job leading the team throughout the year.
Do you think you're more of a verbal leader, or are you a more lead by example kind of guy?
I would definitely say I'm lead by example and try to lead by my presence in the drills and how hard I'm going and just make sure guys are going that hard.
All right. I want to keep digging on this because it's a subject that fascinates me, especially because I'm not that far removed from high school hockey. I was never a captain or an alternate captain, but maintaining a level of accountability while also not alienating some of your teammates. How do you walk that fine line?
Yeah, I mean, there is a line there, but I feel like as a captain, you kind of like have the right to like get in someone's face and say like, why aren't you working hard right now? And I feel like it's a line you can cross, but I feel like try not to do that and try to just build guys up rather than just tearing them down.
Okay, I'm sure you and Aiden did a great job with that.
Yeah,
I mean, we've had Aiden play in the Bantam Elite League, and we've watched him during his youth career, and I'm sure you and Aiden combined to make a pretty good 1-2 punch on the blue line.
Oh, yeah.
Speaking of punches, one thing that I did want to ask you about in terms of practice, I hear you're pretty competitive in practice. Why are you so competitive in practice? Is it something you can't turn off?
I've always been competitive since I was young. You know, my elementary school teachers had to email my parents a couple times because I was like going too hard in class on like different things like a spelling bee or something like that, or even in gym class. But I feel like it's a good trait to have. I mean, if you're doing something, you might as well give your all to win it.
100%. Your parents got emails about you being too competitive in a spelling bee. So this isn't just an athletic thing. This boils over into academics.
Yep. Oh, absolutely.
Okay, what can you tell me about the spelling bee? What happened to the spelling bee?
Oh, geez. We took a tough loss, my team. I think it was third grade, and I was pretty upset, left the class, and yeah.
Oh, there's one player that you tend to, I wouldn't say fight. We won't say fight. Yeah. That's okay. There's one player that you tend to butt heads with during practice a bit on that CDH team. Who was it?
Max Anderson.
Yeah, I could have guessed that even if you didn't tell me. It was Max Anderson. What was that like, being able to have somebody who could match you competitively in practice? Did it make you a better player?
Oh, 100%. I mean, I feel like we both push each other to be better, like on the ice, off the ice, even like on the pond. We're always going against each other in 2v2, and it's just something that I feel like has been really beneficial to both of us.
All right. He had an outstanding state tournament. He became kind of the darling of the state tournament with that selfie stick.
Oh,
yeah. Was that your idea at all?
No, not at all.
No, that was all him.
Nothing to do with that. Yeah.
All right, let's go back to the state tournament for a second. Coming in, you guys were the 5th seed, I believe, in your playoffs. You somehow pull off 3 straight wins. You end up in the quarterfinals. You go up against Centennial, who is one of the hottest teams in the state. Yeah. What was your guys' mindset going into that quarterfinal game? Because for my money, that game will live on forever in state tournament lore.
Yeah. I mean, our mindset was, they had a really strong first line. We wanted to shut those guys down, and we wanted to come out fast, but, that wasn't really the case. They put up three unanswered and to start it off. But I feel like our coach, Nico, gave us a good speech after the first period, and he kind of got the boys going.
All right. Can you tell us what he said at all, or maybe a little bit of an overview without going too much into detail?
It was a lot of profanity in it. But, no, I don't know. He was just telling us to start picking it up, and we didn't play bad, but we just took some stupid penalties, and he just told us that we need to just start playing our game, getting pucks to the net, and just playing good D zone too.
All right. Did you guys stay in a hotel at all, or did you guys stay at home?
No, yeah, we stay in a hotel. Yeah.
Okay.
It was the St. Paul Hotel.
Oh, that's very nice. That's awesome. What was that? I love asking about the off-the-ice stuff during the state tournament because that's where the real team bonding goes on. Yeah. So did you guys just terrorize the St. Paul Hotel or what?
No, we try not to too bad. Our managers, but because they're not playing, so no, they had some fun. But no, we tried to get to bed pretty early.
Pretty regimented, right?
Yeah.
Obviously, there's the loss to Chanhassen. I mean, you guys just kind of ran into a bit of a buzzsaw in a 6-1 game. Take me through that one a little bit.
They just came out, and I feel like just they were the better team from the puck drop. And they had a lot of guys who could have been playing on junior teams that year, decided to come back, and they were a strong team. And I just feel like we didn't have the older core. I mean, they had 15 seniors or something like that, I'm pretty sure.
Right.
And I just feel like we kind of they had the experience, and I mean, it was a good run for us, but we kind of ran into a tough one there.
Yeah, and then the third place game, then we'll cap the state tournament talk. Third place game, you guys have to bounce back after losing. How are you guys able to do that and then pull off the win over Grand Rapids?
So I feel like something that helped us was, the year before we were in the third place game, and the third place game at state is funny. There's nobody there. There's not usually many fans at the X. It's pretty empty, but it is before the state championship, so you're still playing at the X. And third period, it kind of fills in. It's pretty much whoever wants to get up for that game more. We'll take it, and I feel like we really, we strive for that. It was our second best finish in school history, so we strive for that and completed it.
What does that do for you guys going forward? Because you mentioned a few minutes ago not having an older core of players or a lot of veteran guys. So you should bring back a substantial amount of talent next season. Where do you think this team can go?
All the way.
All the way?
100%.
Is it all the way or bust?
It's all the way or bust.
All righty. So we're not going to get a paragraph answer out of you for that one.
I mean, we have a lot of younger guys who I feel like can take on bigger roles this year. And we have, like, Max Anderson will be one of the good leaders for our team. We get Vesey Lippi back, who...
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, only played 8 games this year. People forget. I mean, he was our second-line forward, and he was out the whole year, as was on our bench for most of it. But, you know, he's a good leader. We missed him on the ice, and just we're pumped to have him back as well.
All righty. I want to ask you about the culture surrounding Cretin-Derham Hall. I think I've already mentioned this, that I'm a product of a Catholic school too, and it's such a tight-knit community when you're at a school like that. I mean, you spend so much time together, and it feels a little tighter, I think, as opposed to a public school. I worked in a public school for a little while. So tell me a little bit about the culture at Cretin-Derham Hall.
Oh, I feel like we have a really strong culture over at CDH. Our coach, Matt Funk, has got a saying, culture creates champions, and he's got that up on the wall in his room. Yeah, and I feel like that's very true. You know, people come to our school, they come to our school to excel in athletics or academics or whatever they choose, and I feel like you come here, you want to win, and like that's what hopefully you'll do. And then you need the support of your classmates too. That's big. We always have good classmate support at our games, like no matter where we're playing, and that's just something.
So word on the streets are saying that when it comes to shadow days, where prospective students like to shadow current students, you're the guy apparently. How many shadows did you do over the last year?
Oh, I feel like probably one every 2 weeks. So.
Every 2 weeks?
Yeah. But no, I love it. It's so fun, though.
What do you love about it?
I love just teaching guys. You know, I came to school I didn't really know anyone going to CDH until my 9th grade year of Bantams, but I like telling them a lot about the school, our hockey program, and like why they come here, why it'll be beneficial for them.
All right. What are some of the things that you try to point out on these tours to prospective students?
A lot about our teachers. Our teachers really care at our school, and our athletic facilities. You know, we're remodeling our gym right now, and you know, we have a special place there. So I just like showing them around.
Yeah, there is something special about walking around that campus on a spring day where the baseball team's playing. Yep. I was over there the other day at the ROTC group was out there doing like their final drills, and the place was packed. It was great. Yeah, it was great. It feels like a real family atmosphere over there.
Definitely.
You've got one more year of high school. You're an odd birth year.
Mm-hmm.
You have an odd birthday where you're draft eligible this year, but you still have a year of high school hockey, and then you are verbally committed to Merrimack.
Yep.
For the next couple of years. So in keeping with the school theme here, tell me a little bit about the recruiting process and what separated Merrimack from the pack.
Yeah, I was talking to a handful of schools, and then during Elite League last fall, assistant coach Jimmy Mullen for Merrimack, he was at a game, and we met up, got lunch, and I just loved him from the start. And he just had the path laid out for me, and then got out to see the school in the fall, and I really loved it. I mean, it's 25 minutes from Fenway Park. It's a pretty good spot. Yeah. And I love the school. It's like a smaller Catholic college, so obviously that's reminded me a lot of CDH, and I just love like the emphasis they put on sports and especially hockey. Yeah, they have 30 programs or D1 programs at the school, and hockey is like the only one who's in a major conference, the Hockey East. So that's the place to be on the Friday and Saturday nights.
That seems to fit right in with you. You strike me a little bit as somebody who enjoys a challenge, because for all of its qualities, Merrimack is not, I would not consider it one of the preeminent college hockey places. Mm-hmm. Is that something that you thought about at all? Were you looking for a brand name school, or were you looking for a place that could best prepare you to possibly play in the NHL?
Definitely a place that could best prepare me. I mean, they're in a really good conference, the Hockey East, I would say, arguably the best conference in the nation. And, I mean, they're on the rise. They got second in the Hockey East 2 years ago. So it's a team that they're kind of slept on, but I feel like there's some good recruits coming in too.
All righty. We just dropped the bomb. NHL. Do you want to play in the NHL?
Absolutely.
All righty. I've never had a kid say, no, I don't actually want to play in my years of doing this. So you do want to play in the NHL. It's a good start. You went from 112 to 95 in the NHL Central Scouting rankings, and I think some people might look at your elite prospects profile and say, well, the points, he doesn't have 40 points. He's not Cale Makar. He doesn't rush the puck 200 feet. He's 6'5" and he's 205 pounds. Where do you fit, do you think, in the modern NHL game?
I see myself as a physical, shutdown defenseman who can shut down other teams' top guys and, kill all the penalties the coach needs me to.
Do you like killing penalties?
I love it. Oh, yeah.
Yep, yeah. Every time a team asks you, do you like killing penalties? Yes. Yeah. It's my favorite. I love killing penalties. Do you actually enjoy killing penalties?
I enjoy it. I enjoy, like, the man-down mentality. Like, you've got one less guy, but they're still trying to score, and you're just trying to shut them down. I mean, it's fun.
I checked in with a couple of NHL personnel people and a couple of people that have worked out with you and coached you over the years, and they did say that they described you consistently as mean and hard to play against. How much pride do you take in being kind of ornery out there?
Yeah, so much. I mean, I've been described as a unicorn for my play style. unlike anyone else can play physical, shut guys down, but I feel like I have an offensive upside. I can handle the puck well, and something I'm still working on, but I feel like that's definitely there.
A unicorn, huh?
Yeah.
Do me a favor. Put your finger like this. Yeah, I could see it. He could be a unicorn. Is there an NHL player that you pattern your game after? Because it feels like the big, mean guys are starting to make up less and less of the league.
I would like to think of myself as a combination of players. Like when I watch guys, I like to watch Keandre Miller for his stick, and he can just shut down rushes with one poke check, and then Charlie McAvoy for his physicality, and like he's good with the puck too. And then I used to love watching Zdeno Chara for his physicality, and that was someone who like had all the size in the world and strength, and that really put it to use.
Wow, and you just named off 3 players that I would consider to be leaders on their team. Maybe Keandre in a couple of years, he'll be able to put a letter on his sweater. Were you bummed out to see the Rangers lose?
Yeah, I was pretty bummed out.
You were pretty bummed out?
Yeah.
You work out with any pro guys during the summer?
No, not really. I work out at East Hockey over in South St. Paul. We stick with like the high school guys. We have a good group there.
Okay. Let's talk a little bit about leading up to the draft. I'm sure you have some things that you'd like to work on. Which areas do you think you need to improve upon to become a more attractive pick for these NHL teams?
Yeah, I feel like something I've definitely put a lot of time working on is my skating. Growing like 4 inches from freshman year to sophomore year. There was my feet had to catch up to my body, but that's something I've definitely been working on. And then obviously my offensive side, my hands, and being a better like playmaker in that sense, and being able to run on the blue line for the power play.
Okay, now it's your chance to brag about yourself a little bit. What do you do well? If I draft you, what am I getting here?
Yeah, I can be a shutdown guy. I can play physical, shut down the rush, put a body on a guy when I need to, send a message, and kill penalties.
And kill, there's that penalty killing thing again. There it is again. You were not invited to the NHL Combine. Were you miffed at that at all?
All good.
All good? That's okay. You don't need to do a bunch of pull-ups in front of people. No. You do those workouts on your own though, right?
Oh, yeah.
So how many bench press reps could you put up?
Oh, bench press. I don't know about bench press for reps. I feel like I can get some good weight on there. More of a squat and core guy.
What about pull-ups? How many pull-ups could you do?
I think I can do around 11.
11?
or 12, yeah.
That's actually pretty good.
Yeah.
Might be better than Casey Middlestat.
Yeah, a little bit.
That picture of him trying to do a pull-up. But
that's a tough one.
This is a question I've always had, and I don't think I've ever asked this, but what do you think about the Combine in general? Do you think that the Combine plays a huge role in guys getting picked, or do you think it's just a chance for the teams to meet everybody and get some interviews in?
I think it definitely plays a part in, but I feel like the bigger piece is getting to meet guys, like do some interviews, and I feel like if guys are like freak athletes, I mean, they can show how much they can squat or how high they can jump or their VO2 test or whatever. But
all right. So how many times are you on the ice during the week? Once the school year's over, you got one more day of school. Once the school year's over, are you fully into training mode?
Yeah, I would say 5 times a week.
5 times a week you're on the ice?
Yeah.
And how much of that is with puck versus without puck? Because you mentioned skating is one of those things that you want to work on. Yeah,
I have a skating coach I work with over at Highland Arena. And so that's like I do 30 minutes a week, but I like to implement those drills into our skating that we do at East or skating I do with skill skating I do with Joe Dietzick. We like to do some skating there too.
Well, he's a beauty, isn't he?
Beauty. Oh, yeah.
And does he have any good advice on the draft process? Because he was a fairly high pick in his day. Have you guys talked about that at all?
Not really.
Not really?
Yeah.
Yeah, start making a list of questions to ask him about. He's been in your shoes before.
Yeah.
3 CDH Raiders, you, Jake Fisher, and Jake Sondriel, all mentioned in the NHL Central Scouting top North American skaters. Let's go back to CDH for a second. What does that say about the program and where it's headed now that it's starting to produce? Ryan McDonough is a bit of a unicorn. We've already talked about unicorns.
Oh, yeah.
But now we've got multiple guys who have a chance to get drafted. What does that say about the development level at CDH?
I feel like it says a lot about our coaching staff. I mean, all those guys have gone through this coaching staff now that Funk's been here for a number of years and Nico's on his 3rd year. But I feel like it says a lot about, like, our development and what they're implementing here at our school. And, it's something special. And it's hopefully it's starting to show now.
All right, you got to pick one: slap shot, wrist shot, or snap shot.
Slap shot.
Slap shot all the way. How hard can you slap?
Ooh, I don't know. I've never.
You've never radar gunned it?
Never radar gunned.
Jimmy, what are we doing here?
Oh, never.
We haven't even radared the slap shot. All right, you're a Muskegon draft pick. Do you plan on at least 1 year of the USHL before going to college?
Yeah, I would say.
Okay,
yeah.
That's not an answer that has to be under wraps.
Yeah. No.
Good deal. So you've got mini camp coming up with Muskegon in about a week. What are you most looking forward to about getting out there?
Most looking forward to just getting back to those facilities, and they're remodeling some stuff on the rink I saw there, but getting back, seeing that coaching staff and some guys I haven't seen since last summer.
Okay, what are you most looking forward to about the draft? It's coming up in a couple of weeks. Are you going to be watching with family? Do you expect to be chosen high enough to where they're going to put a TV camera in your house? Are you going to be on the lake? What are you going to do?
We're actually going. You're
going to go?
Yeah, I mean, it's in the Sphere, so we figured might as well see the Sphere, and, if I get drafted, that's a bonus.
Oh, that'd be the cherry on top. What else are you going to do in Vegas, though?
I don't know. We've got some stuff lined up. Check out the Strip. We got a nice hotel. It's got a wave pool in it, so pumped for that.
All righty. Now, here's a fun question. Everybody loves this one. Best player that you've played against this season? Somebody else whose name we should be thinking about for this draft year.
This season, I got to go with Nolan Road.
Nolan Road, okay.
Road. Yeah, he's a power forward. Kid can just score goals.
All righty. Give me a scouting report on Nolan Road, also a member of the NHL Central Scouting, top skaters in North America.
Yeah, like I said, power forward, good shot, good speed, breakaway speed. He can burn a guy wide and work guys in the corner.
Alrighty. And what would it mean to you to hear your name called and be able to represent not only CDH, but the city of Minneapolis, because you are a city kid. So to represent CDH and the city of Minneapolis as a drafted hockey player, what would that mean to you?
I mean, that'd be the dream. That's what I've worked for my whole life, and that would just be unreal.
Unreal. Alrighty. I think that's a great place to leave it. That's Jimmy Dodig, 6'5", 205-pound defenseman from Cretin-Derham Hall, number 95 on the NHL Central Scouting top North American skaters. Jimmy, best of luck to you in a few weeks. I hope you hear your name called, and good luck working on that skating, and make sure you start doing some more bench press reps.
Oh, yeah. Thank you very much.
You need to stay up out the streets if you can't take the heat. You need to stay up out the streets if you can't take the heat. Cause it get cold like Minnesota. Cold like Minnesota. Cold like Minnesota. Cold like Minnesota. Need to stay up out the streets.